After finally having a respectable amount of fruit coming from my container avocados and more coming in, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about varieties and cultivar selection, as well as general maintenance on these trees. Season that up. There's definitely one of these that I would consider removing out of my collection at this point, after trying the fruit. Before we get into it, I'm Lucas, and I grow pot in pots, and you can too. So when you think of what varieties to get, there's different strategies that you can follow. I think the best one is to have an extended harvest. That is, of course, going to be very difficult with container avocados, but there are varieties to select to try to get there. So I bought these trees mostly because I liked the way they looked and how they grew, but at some point I thought it's time to get a strategy going to get year-round avocados. And I fell into Greg Alder's great article, which kind of goes over that, and it's separated into seasons. I'll put a link in the description. You can go take a look at the article. It's specifically for SoCal. You can adapt it for your zones and your areas. So first up, we'll start with spring, and it's going to be a Hass type. So the varieties that fall under that are Hass, Gem, and Gwen. I don't grow Hass because it has a tendency to alternate bear. That means it'll skip a year of fruit, and that's not going to work out for what we're trying to do. That would also means during those years that it grows vegetatively, it's going to get bigger and bigger, because if a tree focuses on making fruit, then it stays small. So between Gwen and Gem, Gem was more hype at the time, so I got Gem. It's a tree that stays small. It holds its fruit inside the canopy, so that protects it from burning, and it's very productive. And it had just gotten off patent at the time, which is the reason why it was so hype. So the other option, Gwen, is also a very productive tree, and it's actually the mother of Gem, and I don't think you can really go wrong with it. I haven't had the fruit for either, and I might just consider adding a Gwen scion to graft onto my Gem at some point. The next season to cover would be summer. He recommends either reed or lamb, and reed has a very good reputation. So does lamb, but reed is known to have very great tasting fruit and to be very productive. And I think lamb is the same. I've never really looked into lamb because I just had reed to fill in that slot. So it's usually, if you only need two trees, it's the Hass type and then a reed. That's what I was recommended. Reed is kind of the gold standard, where you'll have fruit on the tree and it'll flower, and then you have little BBs too. So it's always producing fruit, and it takes a little bit more time to develop, which is why it's under the summer category. Next up is fall, and that'll be the Mexican type. Those are the ones that will have thin, dark skin, and they turn dark on the tree. They actually turn completely black. So these will flower around winter, springtime. They will set and mature by fall or winter. So the cycle to get fruit is faster than your typical Hass or reed. So the varieties available to me are Mexicola, Mexicola Grande, and Stewart. Laguna Hills Nursery recommends Stewart because it's a bigger fruit and generally a better fruit. So Mexicola is a good tasting fruit, but it's pretty small. Mexicola Grande is bigger, but it has known to have string, I think, and also the seed coat clings to the flesh. Given those options, I just, Stewart was the best one out of them. Next up for winter season is Fuerte or Pinkerton. And I had already had Pinkerton. I had a Pinkerton tree because I liked the trunk. It was thick, and that's the one that grows sideways, which I don't like the overall growth of it now. I've accepted it because it gives me a lot of fruit. But between Fuerte and Pinkerton, Fuerte has a tendency to alternate bear, and Pinkerton doesn't have that. So the choice is kind of obvious. You have to go with the one that gives you fruit every year. So Fuerte, if you have a lot of space, Fuerte is a big, beautiful, majestic tree and a good centerpiece for your yard. It's not to say that don't ever grow Fuerte, because it's also known as a very good tasting fruit too. An interesting variety that kind of fits in there is Carmen. It is a Hass type, but it can flower up to 4 times a year. And it's possible, if you have multiple trees, to have an extended harvest from the Carmen. But I'm not too interested in having multiple of the same tree, unless it's an exceptionally tasting tree. And Carmen was the first avocado that I bought, and it actually died because I chopped it back, and then, long story. It was the only avocado I've ever killed. So right now it's just not on my radar. So like I said earlier, this is for Southern California. If you're in Northern California, the climate is different, so things will ripen differently, and you should consult your locals there. And I would recommend the NorCal Backyard Avocado group. Greg has created a general backyard avocado group, and I'll put a link there too. So that's the place I'm usually at discussing avocados. You might have unique challenges if you're growing like in a greenhouse in Montana. There's a project going on in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest that's trying to fruit a avocado naturally outside. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I definitely suggest you find a group in your area. So another strategy on choosing a variety is just the best tasting. You can't really go wrong if you're growing the best tasting variety of fruit, right? Out of all the trees that I've been growing, the fruit that really wowed me was Charwil. That's the only one where I bit into it and I said, wow, this is a great tasting fruit. At Surprise, and I was like, that's all right. At Stewart, that's pretty good. At Reed, it was early because that one had fallen off of a tree, but it was okay. But Charwil on my second year tree, that one just really impressed me. And I also find Charwil to be an attractive looking tree. You may look at these avocados and they all look the same, and I will admit that is true, but Charwil has like this red flecks in the branches and a little reddish hue in the leaves, which I just enjoy looking. You know, I like the way my specific tree grows too. So another variety that's known to be very good tasting is Jan Boyce, and I have that one in the 15 gallon. That one I recently potted from a 5 gallon into a 15 gallon, but haven't had the fruit yet. I do have BBs formed, so I'm hoping that this year I'll have at least one fruit. So I'll let all the fruit hang this year just to see what happens and if I can get one. Don Globally is an interesting variety too. It can flower up to twice a year and it has a long neck. I had one fruit and I looked over one day and it was just gone, so I'm gonna assume a rat ate it. The rats seem to get their share whenever I'm not looking anyway. But it's flowering now. It doesn't have that alternate bearing tendency, so I hope to get another fruit this year. It's in a 15 gallon and I will likely have to uppot all my 15 gallons. I'm trying to see what the possibility of getting fruit is in 15 gallons. Right now I'm in the belief, Right now I'm in the belief system that you need a 25 gallon. 15 gallon I've gotten like 3 fruit, but 25 gallon I've gotten like 30, 40. So it's a big difference. If you had the option, you'll never really go wrong growing the best tasting variety. You might not get the most fruit, but the fruit you get, you'll really enjoy. If you're the collector type and you like to get unique varieties, there's other options to choose too. Like Queen is the one that grows about a 2-pound fruit and is readily available from Brocrawl. There's a lot of backyard trees getting discovered. SC Gold is very hot right now. That's supposed to be a very good tasting one that I have not gotten scions yet. Recently I established a graft of a backyard tree called the Seedless Kruger. It looks like a little cucumber. Well, it only puts out cukes, which are seedless avocados. It basically sat in someone's backyard for 4 years. They thought the fruit was not worth eating or propagating. And the new owner saw it, you know, started watering, taking care of the tree, found out that the fruit tasted great. So my friend gave me a scion and I grafted it. So hopefully it'll take and I'll have some random seedless cucumbers. Big Black Johnson is another one I recently grafted. It's supposed to be a big Mexican type with the black thin skin. There's never been a more appropriately named fruit than Big Black Johnson. Hopefully the graft will flower next year and I'll get some fruit to try. And if it's really good and it matures around the fall season, maybe it's something that could replace Stewart, or you can grow in line with Stewart. So as far as tasting, I've had a premature Reed, had quite a few Surprise, which might not have been peak too because the size were small. I had 2 really good Charwils that were properly matured. I had a few good Pinkertons that were also fully ripened and also quite good. So my thoughts on them, I can't comment on Reed because it wasn't at peak. So I expect them to be good around now, or at least better. So I'm gonna try some of those. Surprise was just okay. And if you haven't guessed, that's the one I would get rid of. It's a little bit of a floppy tree and the fruit was not that good. And I think it's gonna alternate bear. Well, it's definitely gonna alternate bear this year. There's no flowers. We'll see, it's the only one in 20 gallons. So maybe that's why it's growing a little bit different. But so far, not too impressed. Charwil, like I said, is very good. I highly recommend it. It tasted almost salty. And Pinkerton is good. It has thicker skin, quite easy to peel. But one of my fruits had the seed coat cling to the flesh, and that's not a very desirable trait. And it also took about 2 weeks to ripen on the counter. So going there, checking to see if your fruit is ready every 2 weeks or every day for 2 weeks is not a very desirable trait too. But it does fit that winter spot, so I'm gonna keep it in the collection. So I've been surprised at the hang time on these. Pinkerton has been ready for a few months and I still have fruit on the tree and it seems to be doing all right. Same deal with Surprise, I still have fruit on the tree too. And they haven't really rotten. It's about half of the color is darkened, but it's still hanging on there. It's doing fine. But I'm gonna just go harvest the rest of them now. Let's get to it. So these are the remaining Charwil, Surprise, Pinkerton, and 2 Reeds. I also need to do some pruning on my Stewart because I have a few limbs growing way too far out. I grow all my fruit trees with the central leader. They all look like Christmas trees because it's always Christmas around here. But in all seriousness, you don't have too many options with the container. If you do an open center, you gotta have limbs going away from the branch, which can cause it to tip over. And also, you have less space to squeeze the pots together. A central leader gives you the option to have more trees, which is, you know, what I'm all about. So the Stewart branch is growing way far out, and there's a few issues with that. One is if that's too much fruit on the end of it, it's going to pull down and it could snap the whole branch, and it'd be just waste of the tree. The other thing is if you have a branch that's growing too far out, the inside of that canopy is not getting light. And what happens is nothing grows in there, and it's also wasted space. You want your limbs about, you know, 2.5 to 3 feet. Here's the limb I was talking about. It's just too far out over here, maybe about 4 feet, and I'm just gonna take it back. I'm just gonna take it back over here, all right? This limb up here is all super weird. I was trying to straighten out the tip one day, and then it broke off the tip, and this is now growing sideways. So I'm gonna take this way back too. I'm gonna leave these down here to be fruiting limbs. I'm gonna leave these, I'm gonna cut it over here and leave, or maybe I'll cut it over here. Around here. Cut it around here and let these become fruiting limbs. So hopefully they'll still be productive. But then I want this bud to be the new leader to continue the Christmas tree growth. All right. So hopefully the apical dominance of that one is gonna start causing it to grow upwards. I always mention the size of my Stewart being bigger than others, but I never really show it in the perspective. So we're taking a look at this. It is much taller and bigger than, say, the Pinkerton right next to it. Stewart, Pinkerton, Surprise, Charwell, and then there's the Reed. There's a pruning concept called pinching back. Basically, you nip back the terminal bud. That will stop it from growing outwards and cause more side branching to come out. So it works really well with avocados, actually. It's very straightforward. You might not have seen it before, but I'll show you it really. Here's the terminal bud on this one. And pinching off is basically just pinching off this bud, you know. You just knock it off here. Oh, that's gone. And now you should get side growth from the rest of the branch. So I'm gonna be out of town, guys. I won't be around to water the plants, but luckily I have drip irrigation set up. If you want to be able to walk away from your plants and not have them die, then watch my guide on drip irrigation here to get yourself set up. And don't forget to like and subscribe.